This hand tilts me so bad I had to have a beer. All right, we're at 13 drinks for the pod.
You know, my therapist has told me that I need to just work on letting things go and moving on. So we are letting go of the Roadcaster and we're moving on to 9/11. Let's go.
Yeah, 9/11.
Yeah. I hadn't seen you in fucking weeks. And then I show up, you buzz me in, I get in the elevator, I'm like, what's going on? And you're like, dude, Building 7 is a steel building, and a steel building is never imploded because of a fire. And I'm
a steel building has never collapsed.
What have you been watching?
Due to a fire. It doesn't happen. It's physically, it's not possible. Yeah. It's not, yeah. So like, if you watch Building 7 go down, it literally goes down in seconds.
Yeah.
It like a demolition would, you know, it implodes on itself. And then the report was it was fire. This all started because of the new documentary out on Bin Laden. And my mom watched it and everyone's watching it and she told me to watch it. And so I watch it and then, you know, they go over 9/11 and the day and all the attack. And of course they don't mention that. They don't mention the fact that the Pentagon was, you know, hit with a 65-foot hole. And they said it was a 757 that's 125 feet wide. That doesn't make any sense. So
the hole's 125 feet wide?
No, it's 65 feet wide. So if you look at the Twin Towers when the airplanes hit, there's a hole that spans the entire length of the wingspan of the plane because planes actually hit the towers. And then if you look up the hole that hit the Pentagon, it's 65 feet wide. And they're saying a 757 hit it. So the wings would have hit, the wingspan is 125 feet.
Wouldn't the wings like not explode?
There would be damage 125 feet wide.
I don't know, dude. We were talking about like the Building 7 one. I can understand pretty well, but the thing that I have a tough time wrapping my head around is like with the Pentagon one. There's people that were on the plane that hit the Pentagon that are now unaccounted for. Right? They're dead. They're gone. Gone forever.
Sure.
So where did that fucking plane go?
I don't know, but the plane didn't hit the Pentagon.
You don't think it hit the Pentagon?
No, I don't buy it.
You're not buying it.
No, so it's just convenient that Building 7 and the part of the Pentagon that exploded had to do with like accounting.
Yeah, what did Building 7 do at the
It was a government building that had a lot of records in it that apparently our government didn't want brought to light. They wanted destroyed.
The Epstein files
I'm
were
full,
in there.
dude. A full hat. I need a tinfoil hat.
9/11.
Probably. I didn't think about this for a decade, and then that documentary had to come out, and now I'm heated.
You're just wrapped up in the 9/11.
Yeah, I'm pissed off again.
I would get heated up too, dude, if all of a sudden I thought 9/11 was a fucking conspiracy. But do you still think the Taliban, or was it the Taliban did 9/11, right? You think the Taliban did 9/11?
I think 9/11 was allowed to happen. And I also think it was orchestrated somewhat by our government.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, listen, tomorrow I'm not going to give a shit. I'm going to go back to my life. But for right now, I'm heated about it.
You're pretty fired up.
Yeah.
Well, we've been fucking around trying to get everything set up.
I don't have a lot of opinions that like I really care about that much, and I'll probably not care about this in a week. But for right now, I'm like fiercely texting my mom, like, show me the plane going into the Pentagon, explain to me Building 7. Why was $2.3 trillion unaccounted for? And she's like, honey, I don't think that, what about she said the same thing. What about the passengers on the plane? I don't know.
What happened to the passengers, dude?
Why is the hole 65 feet wide? And why when the plane went into the two towers, it's the hole is the wingspan. It's the size of the plane.
Is the plane that hit the Twin Towers the size of the wingspan?
Yeah. You can see from tip to tip, and the hole is, like the hole looks like a plane went through the hole. But on the Pentagon, if you look up the Pentagon hole,
That's fucking terrifying to look at.
That looks like yeah, look at that. That's not it. That's not it. It's down, second row. That's it. They're saying a 757 went into that.
Yeah, where is the wing
That's
damage?
65 feet wide. They're saying a 757 flew into that. There would be damage from the wings on either side of the building. To me that looks like a bomb or a missile.
You look like a missile today.
I've been walking. I've been stepping, bro.
All right, but let's put a bow on this fucking thing.
Okay, because it's over. It's
no.
In the
we
past.
need to really look at this. We need to really look. Brandon, what do you think? Brandon, who do you think did 9/11?
I don't think I've ever had that thought.
You've never thought about who did 9/11?
I don't know, man. I feel like it's something I'm just never gonna know. That's like what I've accepted. Is I could see it being a conspiracy. I could see it maybe not being a conspiracy. I don't fucking know.
It's one of those, it's like a back burner question that you just know you're never going to get the answer to. Like, is God real? Like, it's one of those ones where I'm not smart enough to figure it out. So.
A little bit. Yeah. It's the thing where, like, do I think the government had no idea? No. We trained the people. I think they maybe even knew about the attack. They were just like, maybe it's not going to happen. Now, do I think that they were like, please go blow up? I don't know if I believe. I don't think I believe either extreme. But something in the middle probably happened, and I don't think we'll ever know. What were the files they just released that told us nothing?
Yeah.
The JFK files, we were supposed to, like, learn about it, and then they released them, and then we were like, yeah, we still don't know shit.
They declassified the JFK files, and it didn't say anything?
It wasn't, like, enough to be like, yep, that's what happened. Everyone was just kind of like, yeah.
Well, so the JFK one, to me, is one of the craziest ones because JFK gets shot in the head by Lee Harvey Oswald, and then Lee Harvey Oswald gets murdered in prison, and then the guy who murders Lee Harvey Oswald is also killed in prison.
It's all scam, dude.
Fucking crazy.
It's all scam.
Look up who's the guy that killed Lee Harvey Oswald, and is he still around? This is what you guys asked for when you tuned into this poker podcast, right? You wanted to hear our fucking opinions on 9/11.
Yes.
That's pretty good. So look at this.
That's why people are here.
This is crazy. This guy is the guy that kills Lee Harvey Oswald, and he's an American nightclub owner who was murdered, Lee Harvey Oswald, on November 24th, 1963. And then in 1967, he is killed. What a weird coincidence. Oh, he died of cancer. Okay, he died of a pulmonary embolism. Brandon, can you say pulmonary embolism?
Pulmonary embolism.
Fuck. Okay. In 1964, the Warren Commission concluded that Ruby acted alone in the killing of Oswald. All right, but whatever. I don't want to go too deep down the Pentagon thing. I saw an article that reminded me of you. Brandon, can you pull up that New York Times one? Okay, so evidently a guy made an app where you can fake runs on Strava. So you can just go in.
Is that a step app?
Yeah, so Strava's like the big run app. Like there's all these different like courses that you can take around the city where it's like if you run, there's very popular routes that people run. And so it'll show you the fastest times that people have ever run those routes. And evidently
there's cheaters.
People have gotten so into it that like for social clout,
more scams.
They will pay someone to run the route for them. Now, you've been getting after it with the steps. How many steps you hit yesterday?
Yesterday, like just 14K, just a light day.
14K. Now, Brandon, he hit 35 the day before that. You think maybe, JC? I think if I'm correct, he runs a podcast with a guy that walks a lot, and there's no way. I mean, I think.
What are you talking about?
Perhaps you're paying me to do your running.
No. I have honor.
Yeah, you have honor and dignity.
I have honor.
No, I'm kidding. I would never take the money. But this is the thing. So this guy makes this fucking app. So this guy, 26 years old, builds a website called Fake My Run, which he describes as a true milestone in lazy technology innovation. And it is exactly as advertised. A site that houses a program that produces in exact detail, complete with map routes, fraudulent runs that users can upload to online exercise tracking services like Strava. Fucking horseshit.
Yeah. So what I've been doing is it's called Steps app.
Mm-hmm.
And it started I'd been trying to get my brother motivated, my older brother, motivated to like start training and working out. And so for like the last year, every few months, I send him the app and I'm like, hey, look at how many steps I'm doing. You should do this with me. Mm-hmm. And like 2 months ago, I realized that I just needed to make it a competition because he's super competitive. Mm-hmm. And so I sent him my steps for the day and I was like, hey, you can't beat me. Mm-hmm. And I told him, you will never beat me. And all of a sudden he started walking like a madman. And we got in this fierce competition where one day he pushed me to like 22,000 steps. And then eventually he, like a week or two later, he got me one day and he walked more than me, but now we've both been walking. And then I started sending it to a couple of other friends because what I noticed is like in myself is once I made it a competition and I saw the leaderboard, it's super motivating and it made me walk every day.
I'm competitive to a point where it's like, it's very unhealthy. Like, like with stand up, I'll see if I see someone like truly destroy, if I'm in the right state of mind, I'll be like, good for them. That guy's got a new bit. But if I see someone fucking murder and I did okay, I'm like, man, we got worked. It like gets me so fired up.
That's good. Like, it drives you to work harder.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, dude, the thing is like, I don't know, when it comes to like athletic stuff, I used to run back in the day. Like I was a very competitive runner and I always wanted to be the best. I would fucking train. I would go hard in the paint. And then, dude, like, I almost won New England's for prep school, which was fucking crazy. I got 3rd place.
Yeah.
Which was pretty fucking sick back in the day. But dude, the thing is like, I don't know, man. Like, I think competition unlocks something with me, but I'm kind of afraid to go on Strava because I'm going out and I'm doing pretty good pace. I ran like 4 miles at 7:30 pace. Jeez. But I know that it would drive me fucking insane if I went out and I saw somebody that ran 4 miles at 6-minute pace. It would tear me up inside.
And it might be a bot.
Because here's the thing, like, there's certain things that I understand. Like, when I see Tellender deadlift 600 pounds, I know I'm never going to be able to touch him, right? Like, there's something about that where I'm like, I'm not going to be able to compete at that level. Yeah. When I see you win $100,000 in poker, it doesn't inspire any envy or competition in me. I'm like, good for you. But when it's something that I know I'm pretty good at, I'm like, I want to get so much fucking better.
Yeah.
Like, and it's healthy to an extent, but it's also unhealthy because it's like, dude, I'm not going to run a fucking 4-minute mile. It's not going to happen.
I have some psycho friends too, and I got them on the app, and that's what.
Maddie's on there?
Yeah, me and Maddie started, and he did the same thing that I did to my brother, and he's like, oh, you're not going to beat me. And so that sparked me and my competitive side to come out. So I told him, like, he beat me like 2 days in a row, and then I was like, all right, like, tomorrow's mine. I got up on the 3rd day that we competed, and I did like 10 miles in the morning.
Yeah, so you hit 35,000 steps.
I hit 36,745.
So how many miles is 30? Yeah, look that up. 37,000 steps, approximate.
20 miles.
Yeah, 18 miles.
My step app said I did 20 miles.
It's crazy.
Maybe it's a little off.
So
and I lost.
I did find when I moved here, I started walking a lot. Like I would walk to spots every day, and I would walk during lunch, and I started walking like, 8 miles every day, and my like hip broke down. Just have you noticed like any part of your body like is starting to get like mileage?
My feet.
The feet.
I bruised my heel on the 37K day, and then I got blisters all on my toes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I got the
next
under the
day,
toenail blister. That's
the next day, I think I walked
away.
like 2 or 3K, and I was done. I was limping around, but I'm feeling fine now. That was a few days ago.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's the fucking 10,000 steps thing. I think there's something really like beautifully simple about it, which is I tell people this all the time, which is it's almost impossible to be in bad shape if you're walking 10,000 steps a day. Like, you can't eat truly whatever you want, but you can more or less.
It's such an underestimated workout.
You can do pretty much anything else as long as you're getting 10,000 steps in. Like, let's put it this way. There's very few people who have, on average 10,000 steps a day for a year that are clinically obese. It's just not.
Yeah, it's hard.
Not possible. Like your body will just respond to the stimulus that you're giving it eventually.
Yeah. This all happened in Florida. I was just in Florida for like 2 weeks.
You're down in Sarasota?
Down in Sarasota.
You go to the
family.
steamed clam place?
I did not.
Mm.
I didn't make it to Monk's. That's a really good spot though. But it was just a trip of suffering. I was getting my back tattooed for 3 days, and in the middle of getting my back tattooed, I got a toothache and ended up having to get my tooth pulled.
Yeah, you sent me a photo. It was pretty interesting.
And then I did 36,000 steps in a day. I got in a fierce competition with that. It was just like I went down there to see family and relax, and it ended up I was just in pain for like a week and a half, pretty much.
Do you think it's that, like, because I've seen this happen to myself too, where you're not playing poker, and when I go home, I'm not doing stand-up a lot of the times, and that extra energy is just kind of still there, so it will just apply itself to something, and I kind of like sometimes incorrectly channel it, where I'll go home and be like, yeah, I'm not doing stand-up, and then I'll just end up playing fucking 36 holes of golf every single day and just like trying to get better, and I'll just collapse because I'm on the course too much.
I spent a lot of time outside. It was so hot. Oh my God.
It's a different kind of hot than up here.
It's a little different. Yeah. The humidity's a lot higher. So like you're instantly sweating immediately when you step outside. Yeah.
It's fucking hard, man.
Yeah, it was a good trip though.
Yeah, it sounded great, man.
What'd you do the last few weeks?
Well, so since you've seen me, I started going to therapy, which has been something that I have like pretty aggressively shit on.
That's
what
I thought you were against that.
Yeah. So what happened was I kind of like had a, like what I would describe as like a schism like 6 months ago, like just everything that was going, not 6 months ago, it was about 3 months ago. Things just started wearing me out. You know, I just started getting super depressed, super anxious, like was just going to sets and phoning it in and feeling really shitty. And I went
self-loathing.
Yeah, it just felt like fucking shit all the time. And a comic recommended that I start seeing this therapist that he had. And I was like, I'm not really into it. And he's like, dude, you got to give it a chance. She's like super different than anyone I've ever worked with. She's really like trying to use like active training, where she like gives you work to do every day, and there's like active methods that you're doing, and you're learning like different types of meditation, you're working through old stuff, and there's like a lot of like goal setting. And he's like, my career's gone better since I've done it. So I went in there and I was like pretty skeptical. We've done 4 sessions, and I came in at the end of last weekend because Memorial Day weekend I just fucking tore it up. I got so fucked up on dude, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday I got drunk.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesday I was like, I'm a fucking mess. I want to take time off. And I take like a month or 2 off every year. For whatever reason, like this time I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to take a month off at all. And so I went into the therapy session, and I was talking to her, and I'm like, I primarily want to like quit because I want to take a break because I need to quit nicotine. And I can't quit nicotine when I'm drinking. I got way carried away with the vape. So she goes, look, like, honestly, I think it's about more than that. We sort of broke down that it's like, yeah, like I have a lot going on, and in order to reach my full potential with the podcast and with the stand-up, it's very important that I take a break. So I'm going to do a month off and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
I think it's the right time.
Did you like look into her life and background? Like I haven't done it yet, but I would feel like I would want to know a lot about like my therapist and where they're at in their life, and like before I let someone give me advice.
Yeah, I mean,
do you know her that well now? Like, does she open up about her stuff, or is it just you go in and then immediately talk about yourself?
It's pretty one-sided. I mean, I have a really bad ADD, and she does too. So we've talked about like methods for working on that. And, dude, honestly, man, I just feel fucking better. And I think there is like I think there's almost like a placebo effect that you get from going to therapy initially, where you're like, oh, I'm making a change. So you start to feel better initially.
Yeah.
And then there's sort of like this drag out at the bottom where you're like, oh fuck, I actually like need to get better and this is not working.
Yeah.
And that's what happened 2 years ago is I had like a really bad like depressive episode, and so I went to try to go see a therapist, and I went on Psychology Today to try to find one, and I just found a fucking random one, and this guy was an absolute shit show. Like, we were doing Zoom therapy for fucking ADD, which doesn't work because you can't focus on the meetings.
Yeah.
And this dipshit was like doing it out of his living room, and he had 2 dogs that would like run around in the background and like bark.
Yeah.
And he's
just taking your money.
Yeah, he was just taking my fucking money. And I was like, dude, you're like, I told him this at the end. I was like, yeah, man, like I am getting nothing out of this. Like there's some people where.
Did he say, how does that make you feel?
Yeah. I mean, there's some people that where it's genuinely like, there are some people that like, I think your therapist needs to be smarter than you. And I have no doubt that I was smarter than this fucking dipshit.
Yeah.
Like, this guy was a fucking moron. He was a mess. And it's like, dude, you don't want to be taking advice from someone that's like running a failing business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like for golf, all my coaches that I've really admired, like they had careers of their own in golf and had achievements and played like on a professional level. So that like made it comfortable for me to just listen and give in to whatever they're saying. So like for a therapist, like I would want to kind of know that their home life is solid and I'm not like taking advice from someone who goes back into a shitty relationship and a depressive life. And
yeah. I mean,
like, are you just saying this stuff because you learned it from a book or?
Well, the problem was too. I had a therapist in high school, and she was just sort of a what I would describe as like I was always right in every situation. You know what I mean? Like she never challenged me in every way. Anyway, she never pushed back. She was always just like, yeah, you know, like I was basically there just to feel better about where my life was at, and like. This one that I'm working with right now, she literally in the last session, she's like, your life depends on like you taking the meditation tasks that I'm giving you seriously. She's like, you are not doing them. And if you don't do them, this will not work.
Yeah.
And so
I agree with her on that.
Yeah. She's like, there's literally no point in you coming in unless you're going to do what I tell you. And so she's like, I will continue to see you, but unless you're going to put the work in, we're going to have to stop at some point. I was like, whoa, okay, fuck. I've never had anyone tell me that. This is great.
That's encouraging that she's willing to stop if you're not willing to put the work in.
Yeah, so she's making me do
She's not just in it for the money.
No, she's very, and the thing is like, she's $100 an hour. And some of these other therapists that were terrible were like $300 an hour.
Jesus.
And you're like, dude, you're fucking scam artists. That's
Yeah.
what you guys are. You're taking advantage of people. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Send me your number.
Yeah, get in there.
Do
you think it's healthy for us to have the same therapist where you're like, well, my therapist said that. And she's like, she said what? My therapist said that we should stop doing the podcast. I'm like, what do you mean?
I think a method that I've used is talking to really close friends or just having like 1 or 2 very close friends that you tell everything to. And then you both kind of just give each other advice based on your strengths. So that's helped. But yeah, I mean, you have to be really tight with the person and be completely open.
I think you also have a huge benefit, which is like 2 of your closest friends are off the charts geniuses and know your career in life very well. So like you can rely on those guys for the
my best friends are like also like the smartest people I know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's nice.
Yeah, they can provide you some tactical
advice.
Advice.
They have a lot of strengths, but they do have weaknesses too, where I think probably that's where my strengths come in, like on an emotional level, I think.
Yeah. Play a little bit more feel, baby.
Are we going to do a hand review today?
I think we should do a hand review.
There's one I'm excited. Well, I'm not excited about. I'm really frustrated about.
Okay.
I think it's the second one we're doing. This one we're gonna do on Nick Airball's.
By the way, classic JC is after JC comes to a show, afterwards we go out drinking with like a bunch of our friends, the guys on the show. I'm hanging out with this fucking guy all night. No idea who he is.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you got to meet Nick.
Yeah, so I was hanging out with
Nick
Nick Airball, and evidently he's like fucking.
The last few years he's really solidified his name in like the high stakes private game scene and live stream scene.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Yeah, he plays all the biggest games in the world now, I think.
It's crazy. Let's let me throw those cans on.
This hand is insane. Okay, so this is
Wow.
can you
for Keating.
can you rewind it a little bit for the pre-flop action? This is from the $1 Million game a few weeks ago. Hustler hosts these like
Hustler magazine.
Hustler Casino Live.
Okay.
It's a poker club in it's a casino in LA.
Okay.
They host $1 Million games. Like they've been doing this for I think a couple of years now. This is like the third one maybe, where the buy-in will be $1 million and then they live stream it, and it's just crazy action.
So everyone bought in for $1 million.
I believe so. Yeah, on this day.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it says $1 million buy-in at the top.
So this hand's crazy.
So it's 500, 1,000 for the blinds.
500, 1K, 2K big blind ante. That means the big blind has to put out 2K with their $1,000 blind, big blind. So there's $3,500 dead out there.
Wait, why does the big blind put in 2K on top of the big blind?
It just juices up the game.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
really like a 533,000.
Yeah, it's bigger than 500, 1K.
So it's like the big blind's pretty much $3,000.
The ante makes it more enticing to play more hands, and there's more dead money in the pot. It's good for action. So
wait, so the big blind puts in 3K automatically, but no one else has to call that? It's just in automatically?
It's in there dead, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fucking nuts. I've never heard of. Is that a common thing?
Yeah, big blind ante's been common for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
It helps action. So airball raises in the low jack with 5-6 diamonds, and Keating calls from the big blind with 8-4. And so this is like the 2K big blind ante is why he's calling with 8-4.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, because he's
Also,
already
he just
got a bunch of money in the pot.
yeah. I mean, he also just plays every hand too. He's known to be one of the biggest action players on streams.
So he's psyched. He's wearing a crazy old-fashioned suit.
Yeah. So he flops top 2, and I believe he check raises. Let's
Top 2
watch.
for Keating. A straight flush draw for airball.
35,000.
Yeah. So Nick C bets.
35 grand.
This is an incredible flop for airball. Flops
Keating
open in a
leads
straight
here.
flush. Gets check raised to
Airball just
35K.
calls.
Oof.
The turn is a really bad card for airball.
Board pairs.
It doesn't help at all.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't help, and it also like.
Opens up a 3 of a kind.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, Keating's check raising range, like a lot of it's 2 pairs, and so it fills up Keating's hand, and it makes airball's hand almost dead to like straight flush outs. But also Keating can have bigger flush draws and stuff. So yeah, it's not a great turn for airball.
Nonetheless, he's going to bet.
So he check raises flop,
60
and then he
grand.
bets 60 on the turn. This is where the hand gets like really,
So
really strange.
if this is you got 5-6. You got a open-ended
Straight
straight
flush draw.
flush. What are we doing? You get called like that, or you get a raise like that? Are you fucking out? What
On the flop?
Yeah, like somebody throws money like that at you. What do you think you would do if you're in an airball situation here?
There's 0 folding
Mm-hmm.
on the flop. You have one of the biggest draws possible. So no, you're pretty psyched to be putting money in
Okay.
on the flop, and then on the turn, this is where it's like it's real dicey.
And calls.
However, Keating has gay mannerisms.
So
Almost $550,000
Keating leads 60K on the turn,
in
and
there.
airball raises to 230,000. And he Keating pretty much snap calls. And so there's 546K in the pot going to a river.
Big river card coming.
Fuck.
Complete. It's a brick for airball. He cannot win, so he has to bluff if he wants to win this pot.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Almost pot.
Now, if you're in Keating's situation here, right? Like you got the 2 pair locked up. Are you? What do you think? You think he's drawing dead?
That's the guy you bought the $2 Miller Lite for at the bar the other night.
It was nice. It was a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
I got him a pony. I didn't even get him the full thing.
Yeah. Joe's like, hey, let me buy you a tequila
Let me
shot.
buy you a drink, huh? What do you say, Toots?
After he raised the turn,
So this is a pretty long tank.
Keating has pretty Casino Royale energy right now. He looks like a character in a movie.
Yeah. So the thing about this hand for Keating is he's blocking like all the hands that Airball is claiming he has by raising the turn. You know, Airball's saying he has boats, like 8's full, 4's full.
Mm-hmm.
And Keating has 8-4. So it's really difficult for his opponent to have those hands that he's claiming he has. So he has kind of like the perfect bluff catcher. Keating does lose to overpairs, like 9s through aces, but the interesting thing about this hand is 9s through aces is like not going to raise to 230,000 on the turn. They're just going to call. So even though Keating's hand strength drastically decreased on the turn by the 3 pairing, he's not concerned about overpairs after Airball raises the turn. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now he's got the perfect bluff catcher. He's not concerned about overpairs because they don't raise the turn.
And it's very unlikely that he has a 3.
Yeah, if Airball just called the turn and then fired huge on the river, it's a pretty tough call because Airball can comfortably value bet overpairs. He can comfortably value bet any ace that was rivered, but now it's like Keating just has like the perfect bluff catcher to call down with.
Sick. All right, let's let her rip.
And the long tank and the stare down is really him.
Wow, there's the call. 8s and 3s, or 8s and 4s rather.
I think there was some live feel and live tells going into that long tank too.
$1.6 million.
What do you mean?
I mean, he was studying him pretty hard.
He's staring down Airball.
Yeah, you're just trying to get a feel for your opponent's comfortability. Like, are they comfortable or are they uncomfortable? I mean, simplifying poker is a good strategy. The game can get pretty complicated, so just trying to simplify it to like, do you feel like that your opponent is comfortable or uncomfortable?
They look pretty uncomfortable.
I mean, that could have been the read, yeah, but Nick's a great player. Like he could easily give reverse tells, but yeah, like I mean, that long tank and him literally just staring him down is him trying to get a feel for if Nick's comfortable or not, I think. But that was a massive hand. Crazy. You want to see me misplay a hand?
Yeah, let's do it.
that I'm so tilted about this hand. Been upset for weeks.
Let's see it. All right, boys.
Oh,
And we're back. Crank that fucking number up, dude.
This hand tilts me so bad I had to have a beer. All right, we're at 13 drinks for the pod.
Don't forget Brandon, 14.
Oh, 14. Nice. Oh my God. This single hand.
Sorry about that, y'all.
But it's not.
But you know what I love when I try to be cool about my drink?
Just pissed me off for days.
No,
Well,
wait
it's
till
been
the
weeks.
next
It's
one after that.
still thinking
I
about
won't just go with the traditional another Rolex.
So this hand is raised by Bulldog, 3-bet by Mariano, 4-bet cold 4-bet by me with Ace Jack of clubs.
What happened, Randy? Oh, you dropped the drink?
Just a little.
Off of 36K.
And that's Mariano right there in the cream sweater, right?
Yeah, that's Mariano. Played a lot with him. He's super aggressive, super wide, plays a lot of hands, which makes this worse.
Mariano facing the 4-bet with the Ducks, going duck hunting. Gonna
Okay.
make the call.
So-
and he and T1000 have taken it to the streets today.
So he calls, and we get
Couple clubs.
like a dream flop. This is, I mean, besides, like ace high flop, ace jack high flop, flopping nut flush draw in a 4-bet pot is super stoked. So immediately, like, we're equity wise, we're ahead of, like, we should be ahead of deuces. It says 50-50, but like we're ahead of pairs, with 2 overs and a flush draw.
Yeah, and this would be your odds would be much better if you're playing with a lot more people too, right? Because your flush is gonna beat everything.
I mean, odds of winning the hand go down.
No,
when
I know,
there's
but
more
it's
opponents.
the equities. All right, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Not important.
This is just a great flop for
Yeah,
us
great flop.
in a 4-bet pot, and this hand is just a disaster. I really feel like I misplayed it. I know I misplayed it. So we flopped a nut flush draw.
Couple clubs.
Mariano checks to us, or actually, sorry, we're in the small blind.
Here.
So
Certainly.
there's 13K in the middle,
Rain, baby.
Sparkly brightly.
I'm so sorry about
and I decide to. I think I bet like
Oh, wow.
3,500 or something,
That's your mark. It's the 3-coin mark.
and I hate this sizing. I should have bet so much
It's
bigger.
like 3,500 maybe.
That's a bling bling. Randy.
Thank you,
Bling,
Jesus.
So first
Nice
mistake,
bling, bling.
The call.
I should have bet way bigger. I should have set up a turn jam. If I bet like 8,500 on the flop into the 13K, then there's what is that, 17? That puts like 27 in the middle on the turn, and then I can just comfortably jam like 22K in on the turn. When I cold 4-bet and I get called, I'm getting called by hands like pocket pairs, all the pocket pairs, ace queen, ace king. There is some like king queen suited that I'm ahead of, maybe some queen jack suited, some jack 10 suited, but this hand just really wants to bet big, I think. And if he does have ace queen or ace king, by sizing up on the flop, first my hand strength, it looks really strong cold 4-betting from the small blind. So it applies enough pressure on him to get him to sometimes fold better hands.
Mm-hmm.
But this sizing on the flop just doesn't apply enough pressure to any of those hands.
Yeah.
So
he's gonna.
he stays in
ride with you.
yeah. Like the fact that I'm like letting deuces
A
win
quick
this hand
call.
is just,
From Mariano.
I think it's really bad. So now there's 20K in the middle and I have 26K.
Ahead to the Broadway cards.
I'll tell you what.
And ahead of Ace Jack of clubs now on this 6 of hearts turn card.
So this hand, this turn is like,
T1000 gonna be
it's
looking
just
for a
not a great
club,
turn for my
ace
hand,
or
and now I just feel like I'm in like no man's land, and I
And
feel
we are
I don't like I have too much to
blasting off here
shove.
in the Nick game.
and now I'm just kind of
Certainly not going anywhere.
I'm kind of like lost in the hand, and I give up.
Doc, I doubt that. You gotta
Whereas
see
like if I
first.
sized up on the flop, then I can just shove turn.
Yeah.
It's not as bling.
So what would a size up bet look like in that
Like
situation?
8,500 on the flop.
8,500.
Goes check. Free card for everybody.
So I
Now
get, yeah,
what
there's
do we
13
do?
in the middle
Survive.
on the flop. So if I size up to like 8,500,
20 G's. In this
that puts I
pot.
guess that's like 30.
Do you think just
17
checking on the previous card was not a good look?
checking on the turn?
Yeah, check on the turn.
Yeah, it's essentially me giving up.
Yeah.
It's me giving up the pot.
So if you could like redo that, right? Like let's say the
Yeah.
flop stays the same, but you get to redo the turn. You see that 6. What are you doing?
I think overbet shoving turn is not bad. Applying a bunch of pressure on he's
Because he's going to fold 2s in that situation. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
well,
could
he's
have,
fold- yeah, he's
you could
folding
have
2s.
7-8. You could have 5. You could have 3-7. You could have fucking higher pair.
well, particularly versus Mariano. This is like even worse because he is so wide. Like he calls with so many different hands. So like if he has like a 5-7, 9-10, 8-5 suited, 8-6 suited, 7-6 suited, he's calling with all those hands. And I mean, shoving turn is not fun for those hands, like a single pair and a draw. But yeah, I think this hand's a disaster, and it really upsets me that like I let deuces win when if I just size up to like 8,500 on the flop, that makes I believe that makes the pot like 30,000 on the turn, and then I can shove like 20, 22, 23K in on the turn, and deuces are just like hating life.
Yeah.
So instead of like playing aggressive and being tough to play against, I just let deuces win at showdown, and it's weak, and I feel like a pussy. But I'm gonna have this Bud Light, and
That'll strengthen you up.
it'll make me feel better about myself.
First drink in 2 weeks. How does it feel?
It's nice. It tastes good. Yeah, it's soothing. I had to have a drink watching this hand. You just got to go like in a 4-bet pot. What I've noticed about, like throughout the years playing in the bigger pots, like the better players, like they go super hard in the paint. You have to go after the fucking pot. Like weakness is not rewarded. And in a 4-bet pot, when I flop the nut flush draw, to just bet small and then check and give up is it's weak. And I want to whip myself with a flogger.
You want to be flogged?
I want to be
again?
flogged after watching that.
I want to be
I think
flogged
that's the
regardless.
biggest-
Brandon, you got plans after this?
Let's have a little flogging session.
I think that'd be good. We're not vloggers. We're floggers. We'll be flogging in Thailand this weekend.
Yeah, but now that I've reviewed that hand for the podcast, I'm going to let it go, and hopefully never do that again.
Did you redeem yourself on any hands in that round?
I don't know. I mean, I played a couple hands okay. I ended up winning, but I think overall I kind of played pretty weak and bad.
Was that your last
day.
session going into the break?
Yeah.
That's fucking tough because I've had that happen where like,
The last set you do is
yeah, dude. 2 years ago, I usually take 1 month in the summer more or less off from stand-up, and the reset always helps. I always feel like I'm coming back way stronger. And so like 4th of July, we're going down to Alabama. And so my last set of the first half of the year is like, July 1st, 2023. And I fucking went out there and just got overconfident and fucking bombed. And and then I just went into vacation, and the whole time I was just like irritated because I fucking ate it. Like you want your last one to just be a killer. Where you're like, yeah, I had a great session. I fucking won. I made a ton of money. Let's go on break. And like, it doesn't matter that you won $100K. Fucking 3 months before that.
No.
You're thinking
Immediately
about the
feel like a
last
failure
session.
after a misplayed hand.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, dude, all this is just pointless. And then you're going to some fucking Indian River casino down at like down in Sarasota or something, trying to figure it out.
Are we done here?
Are you gonna play when you're at home, or are you gonna just hang it up?
No, I played a few like private games. But
Nice.
yeah, that's about like with some old friends.
It's fun, just for fun.
Yeah.
Just for fun. Brandon, you got anything?
Nah, man. Just check out my Instagram. Keep liking the podcast. Rate, review. Nothing crazy going on.
Yeah, that would be much appreciated, I think.
Fuck
Show
yeah.
some love.
Check it out. And we'll be, when are we filming again?
Next week.
Great. See you next week.
Yeah, see you
Yeah.
next week, guys.
Quickie.
Bye.